All right. Huh. StreamYards is giving me an error, but welcome back, guys, to another stream of the Black Tech Experience. My name is Rami. I am a software engineer at a FANG company, and today I have a very special stream for you. We are going to be doing a tutorial on RAG chatbots. If you've ever wanted to get your feet wet with machine learning and you did not want to have to learn all the math necessary to get started, this is the perfect place for you. Specifically, RAGs. RAGs are giving information to a model such as ChatGPT so that it can answer certain information. And by the end of the stream, you're going to be able to understand exactly how to use the models in your next project, which is something that is going to look good on your job applications. If you want to build a business, many companies are putting millions and millions of dollars into learning how to leverage API requests to the model in order for it to make correct decisions. And really excited for it. I got a couple projects of my own that I want to do. And so, but yeah, we're going to be talking about multiple things. And number one, let me see if I can put a timestamp down. Excuse me. Okay, it looks like it's him, maybe. Oh, all right. I figured it out. Before I get into that, I would like to talk about me failing my Microsoft interview. And so, or maybe I shouldn't have spoiled the ending, but yeah, let me just talk about my journey to getting a Microsoft interview. When I was in undergrad, I was at Fisk, right? And I could get interviews with Microsoft, but I could never make it to a coding round. And so, and that's because like they would ask me to do a brain teaser, like a riddle. And you might be wondering, what does a riddle have to do with programming? Absolutely nothing. You guys have to realize that a lot of these interviews are really towards filtering people out. It's not towards finding the best candidate, it's for making sure that the worst candidates do not get in. And so I forget, he asked me some riddle and I didn't solve it. And they were like, from here, we're not going to interview this guy. And so I always felt salty about that. Like, if you guys can imagine studying binary trees, hash maps, it's like, I don't want to study riddles. It's like, it sounds like a pain in the butt. And for somebody to judge my ability to write programs upon my ability to solve riddles, then I think it's ludicrous. And to be honest, like I have failed an interview before, and I think it's because this guy asked me a riddle, and I'm like laughing. I'm like laughing, and because I'm like, bro, like I just solved your data structures and algorithm questions. I hope, I thought it would be stupid that this guy would judge me by this riddle, but that's maybe one of the reasons why I didn't get the jobs or get that job. And so, yeah, the experience with Microsoft, I have been applying for years and years and years, and I have been heavily ignored, even with Twitch on my resume and all that. And so, out of the blue, I see a interviewing request with an email from Microsoft saying that they want to interview me. I have 2 years of experience, at least with the FANG companies. I have way more without it. Um, and so I was like, cool, like I'd love to interview with Microsoft. I come in, I talk to this guy, he asked me a question, and we just talked about my experience, where I'm at in my career, why I'm looking to move forward. To be honest with you guys, I would say the reason why that I am potentially looking for new opportunities is that I feel like there is no work-life balance in my current job. And so um, just Microsoft has a different culture that they want to keep people around, and so um, Yeah, I think so. I told him about my background and he gave me a question and I solved it. I think I didn't give the best solution, but it was more just to see how I thought. And we went on from there. I went to the next round where I got to interview with the team. And so this is different for me. I've never actually interviewed with an entire team before. And so this position was for security. Um, and I don't have a background in security, and it didn't sound like I needed it. But when I got into the interview, like these guys were asking for design security protocol applications, and to be honest with you, I am leak code out. Like I have done a lot of leak code, and um, what is it? I haven't done. I don't have a lot of experience with design interviews, but I'm familiar with how to design an application for my job and from doing the interviews before. And so, what happened? I remember doing really bad on the first one, and then this guy asked me a dynamic programming. I did really good on the second one, where I think it was really good. You never know, right? Uh, this guy asked me a dynamic programming question. Let me turn this down a little bit. It is beaming in my head. I hope you guys can still see it. I'm gonna turn it back on. I think it looks better that way. But this guy asked me a dynamic programming question, which is if you don't know dynamic programming, I would say that it is not hard, but it's not the way that a human being would think about problems. And so you have to spend a lot of time focusing on solving those types of problems to get good at it. And it's just another way for people to filter them out. Does it ever, like, I can't even imagine a situation where uh, a company would like somebody to come up with or would have to use a dynamic programming problem. But then again, guys, I keep saying, like, what I have realized that these things, the interviewing is really not to try to see if you're, well, some parts of it can be, but as far as the lead code questions, it's not the best measurement of seeing if you can do the job well. It's just, can you solve a problem? And especially if you have if you don't have prior experience solving problems like that, like you're gonna look really bad. No matter even if you're the principal engineer of Google, right? If you don't have experience solving recursive problems, dynamic programming problems, you're gonna look really bad as a candidate. And so, and the last one was a design applications, and I'm just like, I was honestly so exhausted from the dynamic programming and the design. I was like, bro, like, can we don't have to do this interview if you want. He's like, no, like, you know, like I'd still like to interview you if you want. And so we went ahead with it, and it was just more experience. I think I rushed into the design a little bit too early, or I did not define the requirements well enough. And yeah, I can't really talk about the questions in full, but I can give you maybe the themes of what were discussed. And so that was my experience. Even though I didn't do well, I want to say that I really enjoyed that just to see, like, once I got finished with the interview, I had a ton of things that I wanted to look up about security. I had a better understanding about my skill set, which I consider myself a full stack developer. You would think that a full stack developer could be useful as a security engineer, and probably some of my skills would transfer over, but I think they need something specific towards people who are implementing protocols and understanding the underlying architecture of decrypting services or whatever. And so, yeah, it just was not the best look, and I was not prepared. And yeah, I would like to say at the same time, guys, like I have a full time job, and I think I have a project going on at the current moment, and so I'm working. I would say closer to 50 hours a week, and I don't have a lot of time or energy that I'm going to give towards interviewing. And so, yeah, it's just even though, even though, but I still want to get my hands wet or get more experience with interviewing with different companies. You can make contacts, message recruiters, and get information. And so it can be very good for your career, even if you are not ready. I think a lot of people um, want to win without failing at all or taking or learning lessons along the way. I don't think I failed. I think it was just a great learning opportunity, and I'll move forward to the next one. I just feel ready for whatever comes next. And so, yeah, and in the future, I probably won't be applying to security jobs as a mid-level engineer. And yeah, it's part of my journey. Let me think. If there is one lesson I would like to tell you is that um, you only have to pass one interview to get in. And so, even though it's high stakes, even though interviewing can be a finding a needle in a haystack sometimes, unless you are really, studying for a month on these programming problems, maybe then you might be able to consistently pass them. Even though it can be like finding a needle in a haystack, it uh, my life has changed so much just from the sacrifices and failing so many different interviews and keep moving forward. Um, and I wish you guys the same attitude because, um, yeah, it, uh, damn. Being coming from where I come from, a single parent household where I don't grow up in computer science, I would say that I've done really well for myself, regardless of how many interviews I've failed. And so that is my spiel on failing interviews and moving forward. Let me think. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna put a note down. All right, great. All right, I have GitHub has announced their GitHub models. Oh my gosh, this is not a good link. GitHub models. Let's take a look. All right. Uh, bear with me. I'm going to do a quick sound check while we are waiting. What are we having for dinner tonight? I bought a breakfast burrito. I'm gonna put my guy on the screen because he said something for pilgrimage. I bought a breakfast burrito today. It was really good. It was 4.9 stars on Google, and I also bought a carne asada burrito with it. So I had my lunch and dinner for the night. I think it was around $25 for both of those. So, um, yeah, I think if you guys want to know what I spend my money on the most, I would say it's ordering out every single day. Um, I order out every single day. That way I don't have to spend time cooking and I have more time to like program. Oh, we got some people in here. Let me know where you at, where you from and what you doing. What's up, my guy Pilgrimage? I needed Fang Engineers insights. Yeah. Um, yeah, if I was still broke, I probably wouldn't order out as much, but it definitely does like I think being able to work 50 hours a week and then work out and then do all the other stuff that I do on the side requires that I sacrifice some things, and I think it's important to like spend money that make money. And so, yeah, appreciate the question. How am I sounding on the soundboards? I did a sound check, so I think everything should be good, but I have messed that up before. Uh, Let's see. I'm sharing my screen. I do not. Why did it do it like that? I don't want to like. Let's go back. Let's. I am going to. Where is it? What are you having tonight? Pilgrimage. What are you eating? Let's see if I can fix my screen while we're doing that. There we go. There we go. That's what I want to see. And I'll move this over here. And all right. So we are introducing, and I'm going to use my glasses. I try to take my glasses off for you guys so you can not see the glare. But for this case, we're going to be looking at it. Introducing GitHub models, a new generation of AI engineers building on GitHub. We are enabling the rise of AI engineers with GitHub models, bringing the power of industry-leading large and small language models to our more than 100 million users directly on GitHub. Let me ask you guys, are you using models in your day-to-day programming? For me, I would say I use it multiple times every single day. It speeds me up completely in all my different flows. Just because I'm able to ask questions, how does this look? Have you seen this before? Have you seen this bug? And it is extremely helpful. I don't think that it can replace me just yet, but I definitely see a lot of what is the word? Potential for it to do it. Like I can ask it questions that it has never seen before, and it does pretty well. Um, so from the early days of home computers, the dominant mode of creation for developers has long been building, customized, and deploying software. Today, let me see if I can do one more thing. There we go. I have my little light stand. Today, in the age of AI, secondary and equally important mode of creation and rapidly emerging, the ability to leverage machine learning models. Increasingly, developers are building generative AI applications where full stack contains backend and front end code plus one or more models. But a vast segment of the developers still lack easy access to open and closed models. This changes today. I'm not sure if I agree with that statement that like engineers lack the ability to what is the word, reach models. Maybe I'm not the target people that they're talking about, but ChatGPT is free, so I'm kind of confused on what they're saying. But we are launching GitHub models, enabling our more than 100 million developers to become AI engineers and build with industry-leading AI models. It's funny to me that they're saying AI engineers like anybody who's using a model is an AI engineer now. But from Llama 3.1 to ChatGPT 4.0 and ChatGPT 4.0 or 4 Omni Mini to 5.3 and Mistral Large 2, you can access each model via a built-in playground that lets you test different prompts and model parameters for free right in GitHub. And if you like what you're seeing on the playground, we have created a glide path to bring your models to your developer environment in code spaces and VS Code. Once you're ready to get to production, Azure AI offers built-in responsible AI, enterprise-grade security, and data privacy, global availability with the provision, throughput, and availability in over 25 Azure regions. For some models, it has never been easier to develop and run AI applications. I'm kind of confused. I thought they were talking about like you running prompts. Are they saying like we're going to be building models in our code? I thought we were just going to be asking questions, but let's keep digging into it. Your joy begins in the model playground on GitHub. For most of us, learning to be a developer didn't happen in a linear path in the classroom. It took practicing, playing around, learning through experimentation. The same is true today for AI models. In the new interactive model program, students, hobbyists, startups, more can explore the most popular private open models from Meta, Mistral, Azure, OpenAI, Source, Microsoft, and others with just a few clicks and keystrokes. Experiment, compare, test, and deploy AI applications right where you manage your source code. In the alignment with GitHub and Microsoft continues commitment to privacy and security, no prompts or outputs in GitHub models will be shared with model providers, nor used to train and improve models. I think that's going to be really good for enterprise customers. I don't know if they can prove it. They probably maybe have a version of the model running locally. But yeah, I'm really happy to see more companies, more enterprise users start using this stuff because yeah, I think GitHub, in my opinion, blows all the other IDEs out of the water or GitHub code spaces because you can use other ones. But yeah, let me guys know in the comment section what you are using to code in. For me, I would say VS Code most of the time, but do a lot of Java work in my job. So yeah. Every piece testing compared to different models. Every piece of software is unique, and likewise, every model is unique in its capability, performance, and cost. Mistral offers low latency, while GPT-4.0 is excellent at building multi-model applications that might demand audio, vision, and text in real time. Some embedded scenarios might require integration of different models, such as embedded models for retrieval augmented generation. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing today, or what we are going to be doing today. With the suite of models, developers will have an option that they need to stay in flow and experiment more and learn faster even before. And this is just the first wave in the months ahead. As we approach the general availability of GitHub models, we will continue to add more languages, visions, and other models to our platform. Yeah, that sounds cool. Spin up Skull spaces to bring your ideas to life. The fun doesn't just stay in the playground with the power of Skull pace. Yeah, the power. With the power of code spaces, we created a zero friction path for you to experiment with models, inference codes before dropping in on your own project with sample code for a variety of language and frameworks of all types ready to go. You can try out various scenarios, whatever hitting works on my machine problems. Yeah, work on my machine. If you guys know, like if you guys have ever programmed in Windows, it is a pain in the butt. And so very happy to have GitHub code spaces where people can just install things one time and let other people come work on it. Then once you're ready, it's a breeze to get things running in your project. Use the knowledge you've gained from the playground and code space to set up prototypes of proof of concept with your own application. Run prompts, evals, and GitHub actions with a series of JSON files that you just pipe in your GitHub models commands with the GitHub CLI. Or you can leverage GitHub models to build a Copilot extension. Extend GitHub platform ecosystem with every stage of the software development. And finally, go to production with Azure AI by replacing your GitHub personal access token with Azure subscription and credentials. Yeah, sounds cool. As an AI startup founder and open source maintainer, GitHub models enables my team to access and experiment with various LLMs in one place. It streamlines our development and lowers the entry barrier to building AI apps. Okay, it sounds like the models are going to be used in some type of programming way with RAG. But yeah, I thought it was just going to be ChatGPT on the side. That makes more sense because it's like you can already go to ChatGPT. And the creator network of age of AI, from the creation of AI through open source collaboration to the creation of software with the power of AI to enable the rise of AI engineers with GitHub models. GitHub is the creator network of the age of AI. The path of artificial general intelligence will not be built with the source code and collaboration of the interconnected community of GitHub. Will not be. Just in the last year, more than 100K generative AI projects were created on GitHub. GitHub Copilot is foundationally changing the speed software production, already writing nearly 50% of code and files where it is enabled. That's interesting, writing 50% of code. I remember somebody told me a year ago that in 3 or 4 years, all the code is probably going to be written by AI. And shout out to that. I'm ready for it. Let's, quit my job, man. With GitHub Copilot Workspace, we envision a world where millions of novice and hobbyists and professional developers alike can code with entirely human language. And now with GitHub models, more than 100 million developers can access and experiment with new AI models where they already manage their source code, issues, pull requests, workflows, and repositories. directly on GitHub. In the year ahead, we will continue to democratize access to AI technologies to generate a groundswell of 1 billion developers. By doing so, we will enable 10% of the world's population to build an advanced breakthrough with accelerated human progress for all. So, yeah, really excited to see that. Let me see. They have a demo for us. Hopefully, it doesn't have any music.
We believe that every
I'm going to make it full screen for you guys. Let's take another look.
developer can be an AI developer with the right tools and training.
Can y'all hear that? Can y'all hear that? Let's take a look. I'm going to double check. Just to do. Wow. It is not telling me anything about the live. There we go. Y'all hear that? I'm going to make it full screen for you guys. Let's take another look.
A developer can be an AI developer with the right.
Yeah, y'all can hear that. All right, let's get back into it. And let me do one more thing. I'm going to put a timestamp down. Okay, got it.
That's why we've launched GitHub Models on the GitHub Marketplace, a place for you to explore and experiment with a hand-picked collection of top models with entitlements attached to your GitHub account. So let's try out one of the newest models, GPT-4o. We can pass in an initial user prompt to interact with the model, and we can use the playground to adjust the parameters. For example, we can change the system prompt and experiment with the temperature for more or less randomness. Now that we've adjusted the parameters, we can send user prompts to interact with the model, simulating its use for our application. Now, GPT-4o looks great, but I want to test how a different and smaller model handles this scenario. So let's switch to Phi3 Mini Instruct and evaluate its response. Looks good. Now, we can also navigate to the details page to find out more information about the model through the README, evaluation, and transparency tabs. Now I've made my decision and I want to start using the models with code. By clicking the code button, we get access to some getting started instructions. We can even use a GitHub codespace to create a pre-configured development environment, ready with SDKs and some samples. Now the model API calls use the entitlements that come with my GitHub account. And because the codespace knows who I am, I don't have to add an API key or sign up to any other services to start experimenting in code. Talking about experimenting, let's update the streaming sample to use Phi3 Mini 4K Instruct. We'll also update the prompt and continue with our experiments. Now those entitlements we mentioned earlier follow you wherever you're logged in, including the GitHub CLI. Here, we're calling AI models to create questions for first-year computer science students so they can check their knowledge of Git. But we can even combine other CLI commands with the GitHub CLI. For example, let's summarize the last 10 commits of this repository using Phi3 Mini Instruct. GitHub Models helps minimize the friction as you explore and experiment with AI models. So take your first steps in building AI-powered apps by joining the waitlist for GitHub Models. We can't wait to see what you build next.
That's pretty cool. Let me see if I can get a close-up on me. Yeah, so am I excited for GitHub Models? I don't think it's doing anything groundbreaking, but to be honest with you, the tool Git is such a pain in the ass, to be honest, to understand all these commands. And I constantly have to look up Git commands in order to do my job. How long has this been on the screen? My bad, guys. I am excited just to have a model on the playground. I imagine myself using ChatGPT more than the other ones. And so Yeah, I'm medium excited. Doesn't sound like anything too advanced, but could be very helpful. I would say I'm really like anytime a company tells me that they use GitHub, I'm super excited because I just think GitHub is the best in town when it comes to IDEs. And again, let me know what IDE you're using in the chat. I'd love to know if you think something is better, but for me, I'm a big GitHub fan. And that concludes my talk on that. I'm going to end it there. All right. So, what else did I want to talk about? All right, guys. I have another article that I wanted to read for you guys, which is the best the 10 best states for finding a job in AI for the AI boom. And so, yeah, let's take a look. I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think what the AI boom is going to look like. Is it going to be a lot of people having a lot of? I saw a study that said something like the AI boom is going to create $20 trillion in the next like 5 or 6 years, right? Do you see everybody working for companies? Do you see that trillion going to a small select few? Do you think that everybody's going to become? They're going to be a lot more entrepreneurs in the future. I don't think anybody knows exactly how it's going to look like in the future, but it is exciting to speculate about. So I'm gonna move that over there, move this, and move that. All right. So we are talking about America's 10 best states for getting a job in the AI boom. My name is Rami Pruitt. I am a software engineer at a FANG company, all things software. I've graduated from Fisk, Cornell. Uh, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm an expert. And so today we are getting into this article. If you already have followed me and seen some of my videos and my thoughts on moving to a city in order to get a tech job, you will know that I am highly in favor of moving to a different city. Because me, I come from Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee is not known for software engineers. And because of that, guys, like I have thought being a software engineer was impossible for me. I thought it was something for geniuses. And I never wanted to even think of myself in that capacity. And it was only until I met another software engineer that was Black that I felt that I was ready or I could see myself in this path. And so going to cities, seeing Black people, seeing other software engineers, we want to help you. We want to have people that we can say that we helped in our career. And if you are not around us, we cannot help you. We are not going to go out of our way to help you. And so I cannot stress this enough, guys. I think it's worth the loneliness. I can tell you guys, I live in Seattle right now. And there's a thing here called the Seattle Freeze, which is like the Seattle natives don't really treat I think they call them transplants. So I might be wrong about that. They don't really treat the newcomers that friendly, and that's okay. Like, do I have trouble making friends? Somewhat. Uh, Still, I think what I have gained in my 1 year of being here has been bearing more fruit from my career than any other all the rest of my years. Even when I was at Twitch, which is insane. Like when I was at Twitch, I was working remotely, so I didn't get to talk with engineers after work. I didn't have such a culture, and because of that, it was harder to ask for help. So that may be a little bit of out of context, but let's get into the article. And let's pull up that. America's 10 best states for getting into jobs and AI booms rather than being replaced by it. Let's not get replaced. How big of a deal is artificial intelligence? Russell Wall, Deputy Director of Stanford Institute of Human-Centered Artificial Intelligence, likens it to the printing press. The technology is a general purpose technology that is going to affect everyone and everywhere, he said. The mere fact that Stanford has a whole institute devoted to AI is a statement. Wald says other institutes at Stanford consider such a lofty subject of neuroscience, foreign policy, and public affairs. It said it's appropriate to consider AI in a similar way. It requires a broad mandate and an important viewpoint for a variety of stakeholders to ensure that we are getting all the key aspects of this. He said, given the enormity of the field, it makes sense that some states are jockeying to lead it. Because of that, for the first time, CNBC is factoring several AI metrics into the year's America's top states for business rankings. This year's methodology considers AI as a part of the technology and innovation category, as well as the business friendliness category at the time when the emerging industry has a love-hate relationship with the regulation. I think they want to be regulated until they don't, Walt says. This is kind of boring. For now, some of the biggest AI players in AI are crying out for at least some direction from legislators and policymakers as companies take their place in the new AI world. We need a broad-based effort across governments, companies, universities, and more to help translate technology breakthroughs into widespread benefit while mitigating risk, wrote Kent Walker, president of the Global Affairs for Google and his parent company Alphabet, in a blog post last fall. He called for the policies that nurture AI development alongside safeguards like privacy laws curb misuse. At the same time, some in the industry worry about states becoming too aggressive. We are already tracking over 420 bills at the state level just related to AI. That's crazy. Said Linda Moore, CEO of industry lobbying group TechNet, in a May interview with Semaphore. I don't know any of that. Many of the bills, she said, are understandable, regulating things, deepfakes, pornography, Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that word today. Others take a broader approach that she said should be left to the federal government. Creating a patchwork of state AI regulations is not the best interest of anybody. Just so you know my stance, I think I would like more AI regulation. I would like to see things go a lot more slow, but I understand that this is also the AI races could decide a lot of who's the next global leader of the world. So it's a catch-22. To capture the state of AI across the states, we rely heavily on data from 2024 edition of Stanford Institute AI Index report, which the Institute has published annually since 2018. The report includes data on AI-related jobs where employees are hiring. It looks like AI innovation, particularly where AI models are being developed, which states are taking the lead in the AI regulations. We supplement the regulatory data with information from National Conference of the State Legislators. We looked at which states have brain power based on Labor Department data on science, technology, engineering, and math. Employment by states, data from a top 500 org helped us measure computing power, crucial to moving AI to the next level and beyond. Go ahead and put where you think is number one. I'm going to say, without looking at this, I think probably Seattle, Texas, Washington, Seattle, Texas, New York, California, probably going to be in the top 4. But it takes a lot of computational resources, data source, and talent, Wald says. A field this is new, so dynamic, and also encompassing, difficult to precisely measure, but in early going, the states are leading the way. Utah Department of Motor Vehicle employees help convert. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see Utah. To be honest with you guys, I've seen Twitch in Utah, I believe. So yeah, let's take a look. While Utah lags in society, science, and technology grant money, the Beehive State booming tech scene, including the nation's 7th highest concentration of STEM talent, positions itself well as an AI takeoff. In March, Government Spencer Cox signed the Utah Artificial Intelligence Policy Act, believed to be the first state law requiring companies to disclose to consumers if they are interacting with generative AI tools. Yeah, I funny story, guys. Like um, I was on Instagram and I was looking at this chick and I thought she was so beautiful, and then I realized it was an AI picture of that woman, and so I think I definitely wanted more AI regulations and more transparency that you're looking at some of the AI because I think people are going to take that out of control, but whatever. Technology innovation ranked 32, business friendliness ranked 12, workforce ranked 16, college university. And yeah, Utah has Utah Jazz, so it's definitely a place, basketball city, right? They have definitely a lot of people gathering there. If you are around Utah and you want to get into computer science, you want to ride the AI wave, then look into moving to Utah. It's a good state. I'm surprised New York is number 9, man. I don't know if anybody from New York is in here. I would have thought New York would have been number 4. Let's look at the rankings. The Empire State is trying hard to be a leader in AI. In April, Government Kathy Hochul, the state legislature, established Empire AI, billed as the first of its kind consortium between the state and industry. The initiative includes $275 million in state funds to create an AI computing center in the University of Buffalo. I used to work at a bank called M&T, and I was about to move to the University of Buffalo. So, yeah, definitely they got some money flowing over there. Already, New York has produced 48 AI models and is home to AI names, including Eleuther AI, Hugging Face. The research collaborative is sponsored big science to say it's growing semiconductor industries, including giants like Micron Technology, manufacturing under the construction of near Syracuse. Also playing a role with New York getting a failing grade over the business friendliness is an attempt to take a more even-handed approach to AI. Colorado. Yeah, I'm not technology innovation rank. It's number 1. Okay. So New York is not a friendly place to, I guess, for business. Yeah, I guess it's oversaturated. I don't know if that's the way they college universities, AI job posting 24. That's interesting. I really would have thought it would have been higher on the list. Colorado. I hear a lot of people, a lot of friends moving to Colorado. I wouldn't mind moving to Colorado. It doesn't seem like much is happening there, but definitely they have tech. They have the legal, the legal, what do they call it, the grass. But yeah, let's get into it. The Centennial State foray in AI regulation is drawing widespread attention. The Colorado AI Act takes a comprehensive approach, which is emphasis on transparency to the consumer and one or more thought-provoking provisions. The law prohibits algorithm discrimination. Governor Jared Polis, in signing statements, that he was signing the law with the reservations, mostly involving the potential patchwork of state laws that industry has warned about. The law does not take effect until 2026, in part to allow legislators and policymakers to tweak it as new advances occur. I really think New York should be over Colorado. I don't know why. Workforce rank? I guess maybe to start a business over there is easier. Huh. It's easier in Colorado. I can believe that. I'm thinking, I wonder if this list is for people that are, yeah, I guess looking for jobs in AI counts as everything. So, Illinois, with no fewer than 4 of the world's most powerful supercomputers, Argonne National Laboratories outside Chicago, has become an important center for AI research. The lab says the artificial intelligence and machine learning have become major areas of interest for Argonne researchers. Illinois was an early mover in AI regulation, enacting legislation in 2020 that includes restrictions on the use of AI in analyzing video recorded job interviews. They have a lot of AI job postings like New York, and I guess they're just more friendly. Massachusetts. Yeah, Massachusetts High Technology Council, an influential organization representing the Bay State, most cutting edge industry, has placed AI at the heart of its Mass Vision 2050 initiative, a roadmap for the next 25 years. In particular, the organization sees promise in AI roles in fintech and healthcare, two areas where state is already strong. AI related hiring in the states is surging on one of the fastest paces in the nation. The state has sought to add guardrails to protect consumers from unethical use of AI. So, workforce rank bad. It had a lot of AI postings. So, yep, I said Texas was up there. Not surprised. With its booming chick sector, it is world-class workforce. Texas is an instant part of any conversation about AI. The state characterizes hands-off approach to regulation and made desirable to business in general, but it has also provided little direction to AI fields when it needs it most. The Lone Star State is not ignoring these issues. However, Texas House Speaker Dave Phelan appointed a select committee on artificial intelligence charged with making recommendations in next year's legislation session. So yeah, I wouldn't mind moving to Texas, guys. Like, it seems like, other than the heat, man, I've been there before. Other than the heat, it seems like a great place. Dell is a big remote company, big into computers. Might be a great place to build a career. I was actually intern there. But Virginia Glenn Youngkins has taken a keen interest in AI, signing the executive order in January, laying out acceptable uses for AI by the state of education, law enforcement, information technology, and creating AI task force to make recommendations every 2 years in the state. Says Virginia has been one of the most active regulators for AI, passing 6 AI-related bills. Virginia's best in the nation education system is feeding a strong pipeline of intelligent workforce. Huh. I'll be right back, guys. I need to get some water. I am exhausted. The heat is killing me in my place, and I don't want to turn on the fan. All right, I am back. We got some more people in here. Maryland, the DMV is in here. I would have not have guessed the DMV would have been the top 3. The old line states has also been to the front lines of AI regulation. Like Illinois, Maryland has early in its restricting employers' use of artificial intelligence in the hiring process. More recently, Governor Wes Moore signs an executive order charting a path forward. The order establishes 10-member subcabinet of states officials to develop a state strategy and lays out the set of principles to guide AI policymaking, including fairness and equity, innovation, privacy, safety, security, and resilience, reliability, and transparency. Johns Hopkins University Arch Center Advanced Research Computing at Hopkins is home to the Rockfish supercomputer, one of the most powerful in the world. Memphis has one of those supercomputers, man. Yeah. DMV is a high cost of living, so but hey, maybe when you guys get the AI jobs, you'll be making so much money it won't matter. Excuse me. Just by being Maryland or Washington, that is where I am currently based in. Just by being the home of Microsoft and Amazon, the Evergreen State has a huge presence in AI. Stanford says 22 AI models and counting were developed in Washington. The state has passed a number of AI laws, including limits on deepfakes, giving legal recourse to people whose images are used in AI-generated porn. This year, the state legislature established an AI task force to guide future regulation. Super happy with that. Yep. Hey, well, I'm here. And then they say California is number 1. But yeah, maybe California is going to get overpopulated again with all the people using AI. As in so many aspects of technology, California's 800-pound gorilla of AI, says Stanford Wall California by far is the leader in the pack, he said, and it's not just by a bit, but significantly in comparison. Not only does California have an enormous wealth of research institutions like Stanford University and Berkeley and more, but it also has San Francisco, Silicon Valley, the home of Google, Meta, OpenAI, and W, and of course, NVIDIA. California companies and institutions are responsible for 100 AI models so far, including the Stanford report. Governor Gavin Newsom has been a major booster in technology, signing a sweeping executive order last year that he said was meant to ensure that California remains the industry leader. However, some are warning that California risks falling into the familiar pattern with AI. The state is unparalleled when it comes to creating inertia leading tech companies, only to overregulate them later. A lot of the tech companies love to be here for a lot of reasons. The regulatory environment is not one of them. Interesting. TechNet Linda Moore told Cinema 4 last month. California has passed 13 AI-related laws, most of which the industry has been on board with, but a sweeping bill authored by San Francisco State Senator Scott Wiener is getting pushback. Wiener, a Democrat, said the bill strikes a balance between sensible regulation and innovation. SB 1047 puts sensible guardrails in place against risk while leaving startups free to innovate without any new burdens, he said. For critics, it goes too far, such as safeguards against misuse the bill requires from developers. The bill also mirrors some existing provisions in President Biden's October executive order on AI. Wiener acknowledged that the bill, which passed the state Senate, is under consideration in the state assembly, is a work in progress. Walt said that one of the most effective things the state can do at this stage is invest more in computing power and development talent. The state that actually investing and allowing for people to go either into the industry or into the government to be able to help make difference in the state that I think is going to succeed. He said, for now, no state is succeeding in AI like California, but the race has barely begun. Interesting. So yeah, guys, if you are not in a city or in these states, I recommend moving to one if you are serious about your career. I'm not saying that. Yeah, I got into Twitch from Memphis, Tennessee, so maybe I am a proof that it's possible if you work hard enough. But I would, maybe I could have been at Twitch a lot earlier at a better company, or sort of given a jump start to my career a lot faster if I would have been in one of those cities. Remember, I was in New York when I went to Cornell and I got my degree, and that's how I got my first job in the tech. Because when I graduated from Fisk University, it was a similar period to right now. Nobody was hiring. We were in a down period, and I went into the industry as a contractor, and it really sucked. So, yeah, I think my final thoughts would be we should be really excited for AI. Don't be an AI doomer. I know how that feels to feel like everything that you love is going to be taken from under you. Like, nobody has realized the future of their minds ever before. Nobody knows exactly what AI is going to look like. It can suck for a lot of people and can be great for everybody. But I truly believe that AI is going to be great for humanity. And the problems that we're going to be able to solve, and the problems, like the things that we can't look at. Like, I am a fan of reforming the prisons. I feel like the American prison system is evil, to put it simply. And I think if more people had time to could work a 4-hour week with AI or whatever and make a living, we can have more time to focus on things that are more important, like making sure that every human being in the United States gets a fair opportunity to have success. I really appreciate that AI is going to make education a lot easier for everyone. Like, the rich and the poor will have the same field when it comes to learning. And so, but also, yeah, you just never know with AI. Like, let's take it one day at a time, and probably going to stay in one of these cities. But that is it. Let me know in the comment section if you enjoy this style of video, or if you want more content like this. but peace. Yeah, I guess that's it. Let's get into. I think I'll have one more thing I wanted to talk about. Let me move this back over there, and I'm gonna get this. So I had one more thing for you guys. We were gonna do a little bit of coding. Hopefully, they have some things for us so that it doesn't take forever. So I'll be posting this link in the chat afterwards. But basically, this is a tutorial on building a RAG. So if you don't have experience with software engineering, basically the way that the internet communicates, or servers and clients communicate with each other, is through APIs. And a quick and easy machine learning project that everybody could get their hands into is RAG manipulation. And so we're going to do this tutorial. Hopefully it's not going to take too long. Yeah, let's pull it up. But I'm trying not to write a lot of code for this because, yeah, writing code is boring. But or it's not boring when you're doing it, but I imagine when you're watching it, it's not all that fun. But yeah, it's pulled up right here. So we are back, and today we are talking about building a RAG chatbot. If you don't know what a RAG is, it stands for retrieval augmented. Where is it? Retrieval augmented generation. Excuse me. And basically, it is feeding a model the information it needs to make this decision. Imagine if you told the model, do I have a free moment in my calendar? The model will be like, hey, like, your calendar information is not given to me. But we had an API call that would pass that information to the model and show my calendar. Then you could ask ChatGPT, when am I free today? And so you could see that this could be quite powerful for a lot of different use cases when you have to give the user a little bit more understanding of how to use the API correctly. So we're going to be looking at this tutorial, and we're going to do it. It's going to be a great lesson if you are interested in getting into machine learning, programming, model programming. I don't want to do full screen. There we go. Yeah. So RAG chatbot. This is by Vercel. In this guide, you'll learn how to build a retrieval augmented generation chatbot application. And they have a little, let's make this a lot bigger. Hopefully you guys can see. They have a little demo. What is my favorite food? Calling tool, get information. Your favorite food is chicken nuggets. So it doesn't seem all that complicated. Hopefully we can do it within 1 hour. And yeah, RAG stands for retrieval augmented. In simple terms, RAG is the process of providing a large language model with specific information to the prompt. Why is RAG important? While LLMs are powerful, the information they can reason is only restricted to data they were trained on. This problem becomes apparent when asking LLM for information outside of their training data, like proprietary data or common knowledge that hasn't occurred after the model's training cutoff. RAG solves this problem by fetching information relevant to the prompt and then passing that to the model as context. To illustrate the basic example, imagine asking a model for your favorite food. What is my favorite food? Generation, I don't have any access to personal information about individuals, including their favorite foods. Now, look, not surprising the model doesn't know, but imagine alongside the prompt, the model receives some extra content. Respond to the user prompt using only provided context. User prompt, what is my favorite food? Context, user loves chicken nuggets. Your favorite food is chicken nuggets. Just like that, you've augmented the model's generation by providing relevant information to the query. Similar model has responsible information. I'm going to move. Let me see. Do I have? Doesn't look like. Oh no. Information is not highly likely to return accurate responses to user queries, but how does it retrieve relevant information? The answer relies on constant call embedding. Embeddings are a way to represent words, phrases, images as a vector in a high-dimensional space. In this space, similar words are close to each other, and our distance between words can be used to measure their similarities. I need to get a sip of water. In practice, this means that if you embed the words cat and dog, you would expect them to be plotted close to each other with a vector space. This process of calculating similarities between two vectors is called cosine similarities, where a value of 1 indicates high similarities and the value of -1 indicates high opposition. As mentioned above, embeddings are the way to represent the semantic meanings of words and phrases. The implication here is that the larger the input to your embeddings, the lower the quality embeddings will be. So how would you approach the embeddings content longer with a simple phrase? Chunking. Chunking refers to the process of breaking down a particular source material into smaller pieces. There are many different approaches to chunking, and it's worth experimenting as most effective approaches can differ by use case. A simple and common approach to chunking, and what you'll be using in this guide, is separating written context by sentences. Once your source material is properly chunked, you can embed each one and then store the embedding and the chunk together in a database. Embeddings can be stored in any database that supports vectors. For this tutorial, we'll be using Postgres alongside PG Vectors plugin. Altogether now, combining all this together, RAG is the process of enabling models to respond to information outside of their training data by embedding a user's query, retrieving the relevant source material chunks with the highest semantic similarities, and then passing them alongside the initial query as context. Going back to this example, you were asked the model for your favorite food. The prompt preparation process will look something like this. Let's see if we can get a close-up of this image. It's so bad. It looks like they embedded them as words, semantic matches, model input. By passing the appropriate context and refining the model's objective, you were able to fully leverage the strength of reasoning of the machine onto the project. So in the project, you will be building a chatbot that will respond to information that is within knowledge base. The chatbot will be able to store and retrieve information. The project has many interesting use cases, from customer support through the building of your own second brain. The project will use the following stack: Next.js, Vercel, AI SDK, OpenAI, Drizzle ORM, Postgres, PG Vector, and Shade's UI, and Tailwind CSS for styling. To reduce the scope of this guide, you'll be starting with this repository that already has a few things. So, yeah, I want to see how I can do this. I'm going to start this repository. So, also, yeah, oh my God. I wish I could share my screen twice. So I am going to share, let me stop this and share my screen once again. So this is GitHub. And if you guys don't know, this is a place where we host code, obviously, duh. But this is a place where we host code. And what's really cool about GitHub is it has this feature called GitHub Code Spaces. And so instead of me having to get on my computer and have to install everything and waste a lot of your guys' time and be pissed off, all I have to do is press code. Oh, they don't have the GitHub Code Spaces for this? That's crazy. That sucks. Let me see. Let me sign in. Maybe if I sign in, it'll give me that option. So we are signed in. Hopefully they're going to give me the option to create a code space. There it is. There we go. That's what it has to do. So once you're signed in, instead of us having to install anything, we can just pull this up in GitHub's code spaces. So right now, GitHub is spinning up a computer for me to use and a VS Code right in the browser. So if you guys are wondering how GitHub works, how to get repositories set up, like just use the GitHub code space. It's a lot easier. I'm VS Code fanboy. Let me see if I can make any of this. I don't. Okay, so it looks like it started on another page. So I'm going to move that. I'm going to take that down. So if you guys didn't see it, but another URL opened up on my computer with GitHub code spaces. So this is GitHub code spaces. They have the different places for me to search for code and make changes and whatever. And so we have the README with the basic project and all that good stuff. Excuse me. So yeah, with this, you don't have to worry about, let's say, having a Windows or computer. It's all in the cloud. So let's get back to the tutorial and look at this. So hopefully we're clone the processor, create a database with Vercel Progress. Oh man, you will need to create a Postgres database to complete this tutorial. If you don't, Postgres set up on your local machine. You can create a free Postgres database with Vercel Progress, or follow this guide, set it up locally. Ugh. So this kind of sucks. Let's see if we can set this up really fast. So let's take a look. We have, where are we? What machine are we on? So let's exit this. Do we have Postgres set up? Who am I? I've forgotten so many of my commands in Linux. It looks like we're on some type of Linux computer. And do we have Postgres set up? Let's see. If only we had our GitHub models already set up for us. Give me one sec. I'm going to check to see. Let's go ask ChatGPT real quick. ChatGPT. How to see and what a pain. You name my guy Pilgrimage is clutch. Pilgrimage is gonna take my computer science degree. So we're on a uname. We're on Linux. Okay, that's good. So I'm gonna check. P-SQL. So all we have to do is say on Linux, P-SQL version to see if the SQL is set up. Let's go back. So we have P-SQL set up. Allow. So P-SQL is not installed. So we have to install P-SQL. Excuse me, guys. My tongue is just off. So we can do it with sudo yum install Postgres. All right, so let's do that real quick. We have our code spaces up. Ugh, so they don't have it. They don't use sudo whatever. That's fine. Let's see if we can use this command. We're just gonna run through the commands. DNF, sudo yum not found. So what do you have, man? Sudo app install Postgres client. I think this is probably gonna work. Probably, right? All right, sudo app get. All right, so we're installing the commands. Let's see if we can get a close up on some of this stuff. There we go. So we just installed, or we just updated our package manager. We still need to Still need to install Postgres. So we're going to enter in these Postgres commands like that. Yep. So now we have Postgres installed. So if we go back, we have P-SQL version, and bam, they're telling us we have the version. Shout out the pilgrimage, man. My guy put the U name over there. But let's get back into the tutorial. So we have our database set up, or follow this guide to set up locally, migrate example. You need to add the connection strings as an environment variable. So they're telling us to do this command. So basically I have a .env file, and they're telling us to just paste that in there. And so now we have our .env file, database Postgres right here. So this is just, I guess, forwarding it to our local database. Cool, we're good. What do we do? So they say if we run this database, we can do a migration. Hopefully everything runs smoothly in our code spaces, or in our code space. So we run this command, we're going to migrate. Shoot. Local package JSON exists, but no modules missing. Do you mean to install it? I am not sure what to do with that. Yes, I mean to install it, my guy. Let's see. Ran this command and got it. Let's ask ChatGPT. I'm going to ask ChatGPT for everything. And so this is how you guys should be debugging too on your own, is just running through, just seeing what it has to say. PnP install, PnP migrate, PnP. It's not really saying anything. So it's just telling me to do a PnP install first. So let's give that a go. So we've installed it. Can we do our PnP database migration? And it's still failing for us for whatever reason. Migration, error connected runner. Localhost error connected refused. All right, this is a pain. Let's see if we can debug this real quick in VS Code. So yeah, this is something that I dislike about software, is that most of my job is installing things, man. It is not fun, but it's one of the reasons why they pay me the big bucks. It's not because I'm super intelligent, it's because I can deal with the most pain. So I'm gonna say to ChatGPT, and this was great if they would have had that GitHub models. So I am in code spaces, GitHub code spaces. The error below. So I'm going to paste the error in, and I'm going to paste the command. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say about it. Let's see. I think it's probably a port issue, is what they are suggesting to me, and I think it is true. Hopefully, yeah. Maybe I should have went through this tutorial by myself. What am I supposed to see when I do that? Oh yeah, it's not running. So this tutorial either sucks and it's not telling me exactly what I need to do in order to run these commands. Did I not copy your database connection string after that? This setup, you can now run your first database for migration with the following command. Maybe they want me, maybe I should have like, maybe I'm gonna run Postgres and see if that does anything, but I guess in the tutorial they didn't say exactly what I need to do. I'm recognize service Postgres, SQL. Let's see. I'm sure Postgres is installed sudo diff alt initialize Postgres. They log out. Initialize database? Are they asking me to do that? Systemctl. Man, what a pain. This reminds me of back in the day, where every day of my life as a software engineer. So yeah, let's start running that. Yeah, they're saying that it's not gonna work either. Postgres, systemctl, sudo system Postgres. Ugh. So we are currently dealing with a bug where we cannot run PMP DB migrate because it is refusing the connection. I'm not exactly sure what the issue is. I saw something that like Stack Overflow has given all their code to ChatGPT in order for them to better like debug issues. Um, I'm really happy about that because debugging is a pain. What am I supposed to see when using sudo lights off? Let's see pgctl if it is running. Pgctl. Yeah, I'm wondering if this stuff needs to like run first. Let me untie my feet. That hurt. Whew. Ensure the firewall rules the code spice environment. How to check 543. check. So I'm trying to see if it is blocking the port on Codespaces. They're telling me to contact GitHub support, which is a pain. I'm not gonna do that. Let me double check that I did not forget a step. Not sure, guys. What a pain in the butt. Connection refused. 1.4. Migration failed. Running migration. Pain. PMP DB. Yeah. No idea. Can you connect to your local PG? Can you connect to your local Postgres using PG admin? I'm not familiar with PG admin, so I'm a little bit lost on that. Let me see. Oh, can you connect to my? Oh, you're talking about on my Mac OS with PG? Yeah, that's a great question. Let me see if I can do. I'm gonna see if I can do it locally, real quick. Let's. I don't want to share my entire screen, but I'm gonna see if I can run some of these commands locally. I'm gonna run a repo real quick. Appreciate the tip. We're going to do that. VS Code. That's crazy. I don't have I don't even have I haven't done VS Code. Let's see if I can do it in the terminal though. I can do that. So I brought up I should have VS Code on this laptop, right? Whatever. I have my terminal. I wonder where VS Code went. Yeah, whatever. All right. So I have my terminal set up and I'm going to pull the PG migrate. So yeah, I'm going to clone the repository real quick and see if I can get that up and running. And let me see, what am I going to call this? CD documents. Let me CD and I'm going to make a directory or I'm just gonna put it here. Oh my gosh. So on my computer, I have a new computer. So it's basically not allowing me to add the correct host key. Yeah, so I have an SSH key on my computer where it authenticates me every time I do GitHub. And so I have to redo all that stuff. And I think that's out of the context of this entire thing. Let me see. What else could I do? All right. So doesn't look like that is going as well as I would have liked, but we can go back to the tutorial and just take a look. And we will just go through the rest of the tutorial by hand. Hey, put a number in the chat if you've ever had a bad demo. So, yep, I was trying to run through this tutorial, create database. So I was able to move the dot file and then use the pmp db migrate command. That's where I was stuck. But yeah, and then we'd have to get a key from OpenAI, which for this guy you'll need to get generate an API key to go to the platform, and then in a .env file, put the key there. Let's build a quick task list of things to be done. Create a table for your database to store the embeddings. Add logic to chunk and create embeddings when created resources. I'm gonna add a timestamp here. Create a chatbot. Give the chatbot tools to create and create resources for its knowledge base. Create embeddings table. Currently, your application has one table resource, which has a column content for storing content. Remember, each resource, such as something, will have to be chunked, embedded, and then stored. Let's create a table called embeddings to store in these chunks. Create a new file, schema, ts. So yeah, it's just using TypeScript to, what is the word? Make a schema, a PG table. Looks like with resource ID, cascade, content, embedding, table, embedding head. ID, resource content, and then embedding, the performance similar research. You also need to include an index, IV fat, is column for better performance to push the changes to the database, run the command. I don't know Postgres. It looks kind of like Git to me, like Git push. Add the embedding logic. Now that you've table stored the embeddings, it's time to write the logic to create the embeddings. Create a file with the following command: mkdir libai and touch libai embeddings.ts. So yeah, creating some files. Let's see if we can pull that up in the code spaces. Oh yeah, I'm sorry guys. I wasn't even showing you. I was reading from the tutorial, but let's see. They have the library actions resource ts. Okay, so I guess there's some things that you can't do that we would have had to add to this repository. Let me see if somebody would have had something on here. AI starter kit, AI SDK starter. Did anybody finish this? No, it doesn't look like it. I wish I could run it. Um, yeah, somewhere. But I'm gonna close this. And I'm gonna share back the guide just so we can take a look. Present, share screen, Vercel API. No. I think it's this. No, that's not it. Okay, RAG chatbot. So we're back looking into the RAG chatbot, and they're telling us we have just created a schema for our database called the embeddings. It's going to have four key components: ID, resource ID, content, embeddings. So we're going to add some logic to generate it into chunks. So I guess it takes a string and turns them into different chunks by splitting them by the sentences right here. We install the AI SDK, OpenAI provider, with our API key, embeddings TS. So generate embeddings. So with this, it looks like it's going to the model you want to use and embeddings. Using OpenAI's ADA embeddings model. Generate embeddings. This function will take a source of material value and then input and return a promise of the array of objects, each containing an embedding and content with the function. You first generate chunks for the input. Then you pass those chunks into the embed mini function import from Vercel AI, within returns embeddings of the chunks you passed in. Finally, you map over and return the embeddings in the format that is ready to save in the database. So yeah, I guess it's just saving certain embeddings into mapping the data, OpenAI embedding. What does that file look like real quick? Oh, so it did have migration, schema, resource TS. Lib AI. I'm trying to see if that was already in the. Yeah, we would have had to create that file in the package, so it's not there. Where did they get this file? Text embeddings ADA002. If. Yeah. Okay. In this code, you're first to find the models you want, ADA embeddings models. Next, you create a sequence function called generate embeddings. This function will take in the source material value as an input and return a promise of array of objects, each containing the embeddings and the contents. Within the function, you first generate chunks for the input. Then you pass those chunks into the embed mini function, import the Vercel AI SDK, which returns embeddings of the chunks passed in. Finally, you map over and turn the embeddings into a format that is ready to save in the database. I wonder why we're saving the embeddings in the database. I'm not sure if I completely comprehended. So semantic matches, model inputs. So I guess we're going to retrieve the embeddings and then the model will understand a little bit better how to go about that. Create root page. Great. Let's build a front end Vercel AI SDK. Use chat hook allows you to easily create a conversation user interface with your chatbot application. Replace the root page with this. So yeah, looks like they have a little form on submit, handle submit. I know this stuff, which is React. Use chat. Is that a hook? Handle submit. So yeah, it looks like we have a hook, handle message input, handle input change, handle submit. Interesting. Use chat. So they have an AI React package? That's crazy. Okay, so they have. I guess this is in the Vercel AI SDK. They give you message, the ID, the role. For all the messages, they have the role, the content, handle submit. The use chat hook enables the stream of your chat messages from your AI provider. You'll be using OpenAI Manage the state for the chat input and update the UI automatically as new messages are received. Run the following command to start the Next.js dev server. Handle PnP run dev. You should see an empty screen with the inputs floating on the bottom. Try to send a message. The message goes up in the UI fraction of a second and disappears. This is because you haven't set up the corresponding API route to call the model. By default, use chat will send post request to api.chat. Endpoint messages is a request body. Okay. Next.js, you can create custom request handlers for a given route using route handlers. Let's see if we can get it close up just so you guys keep following. Refine. So I guess we got to create a route for the AI SDK and route CS. So yeah, it looks like we're using Express or something. You can create custom route handlers for in Next.js. Okay, Next.js has a route handler. Maybe it's built on top of Express, but route handler has defined a route TS file and can export HTTP functions like put patch. Create a file app API chat routes.ts by running the following command. So in touch the file, open the file with the following command. The model GPT-4.0. You declare and export a synchronous function called post. You retrieve the message from the request body and then pass it from the string text function imported from Vercel AI SDK alongside the model you would like to use. Finally, you return the model's response in AI string response format. Head back to the browser and try to send your messages. You see your response. Refining your prompt. Using the tool. You are a helpful assistant. Check out your knowledge base before answering any questions. Only respond to questions using information from the tool's call. Yeah, just giving a response. If no relevant information is found in the tool call response, sorry, I don't know. So it looks like we're getting this is the request where we're creating the API. Yeah. So this is where we're creating an API in Next.js in order to tell OpenAI to handle the different information. So I'm curious, I'm not sure where the embeddings come into play right here, but it does convert to core messages. So we broke it up into sentences. We turned them into numbers indicating how close they are to each other, stored it in our database. We created an API, or we created a React page in order to interact with our chatbot, which sends messages to this API. Let me see if the request message. Yeah. And so I have back to the browser, try to ask the model for your favorite food. It says, in its corner from your chatbot is now, well, useless. How do you give a model ability to add query information? A tool is a function that can be called by the model to perform a specific task. You can think of the tool as a program you give to the model that can run as when it deems necessary. A tool is a function that can be called by the model to perform a specific task. I've never heard of that. That's interesting. While large language models have incredible generation capabilities, they struggle with discrete tasks, mathematics, interacting with the outside world. Getting to the leather, tools can be thought of as a program you give a model which can be run and when the model deems applicable. Tool, what is a tool? A tool is an object that can be called by the model to perform a specific task. You can use the tool when it functions across the AI SDKs like generate text, stream UI, by passing tools to the tools parameter. These are three elements of the tool's description, parameters, and options, execute generate function. So I guess this is the API call of that. Looks like we've gotten a little bit away from what we were originally doing. So we refine the prompt using the tool, add resources to the tool. Interesting. So it looks like here we tell the model how to use the tool. Like if you don't, let me see, something weird happened on my screen. So it looks like the tool is looks like the tool is just a way for us to tell the model exactly how to use the API. Add a resource to your knowledge base if the user provides a random piece of knowledge unprompted. Use the tool without asking for confirmation. And so, yeah, that's cool. So, tool functions that can be called by the model to perform a specific task. You can think of the tool like a program you give the model that can run as when it comes deems necessary. Yeah, cool. Model decides whether it should call the tool. If it deems it should call the tool, it will extract parameters from the input, then append into a new message array. The AI SDK will run the execute function with the parameter provided for the tool call message. Head back to the browser and tell the model your favorite food. You should see an empty response in the UI. Did anything happen? Let's see. Run the following command: DP Studio. This will start Drizzle Studio, where we can view the rows in our database. You should now see a new row in both the embeddings and resource table with your favorite food. Let's make a few changes to UI to communicate to user when a tool has been called. Head back to the root page, app page.txt, and add the following code. So I guess we're just calling the tool invocation, tool name. In the UI, say the file and head back to the browser, tell the model their favorite movie. You should see it will place the model text. Yeah, it would be nice if the model could summarize the actions too. However, technically, once the model calls the tool, it is complete generation of its generated tools calls. And how could you achieve this desired behavior? Generate as a tool call. How could you? The AI SDK has a feature called Max Tool Call Round Trips, which will automatically send tool call results back to the model. Interesting. Resource tool. Yeah. So local PG. The model can now add and embed information to your knowledge base. However, it is able to query it. Let's create a new tool to allow the model to answer questions by finding relevant information in your knowledge base. To find similar content, you will need to embed the user query, search the database for semantic similarities, then pass the items to the model as the context along the side of the query. To achieve this, let the update for the embeddings logic file live.ai embeddings.ts. In this code, you add two functions, embeddings, input string, embed the user query, search the database for similar items. So yeah, okay, I think I see what they're saying. We store information about what the user is currently like, their favorite food, their favorite movie, and they store semantically in a database. And then I guess we retrieve them and put them back into the model so the model can understand exactly what we need by using these tools. With this done is final step, creating the tool, give back to your route, API change, and add a new tool called get information. So we have all these different tools. One for get information from your knowledge base to answer questions. Interesting. So yeah, head back to the browser, refresh the page, and ask for your favorite food. You see the model can get information tools in and relevant information for whatever. All right. In conclusion, congratulations, you have successfully built an AI chatbot that can dynamically add and retrieve information to and from a knowledge base. Throughout this guide, you learn how to create and store embeddings, set up server actions to manage resources, and use tools to extend the capability of your chatbot. So, yeah, wish this could have been more informative and we could have gone along it together. But yeah, I'm surprised that I could not get the connection going in the VS Code. Maybe next time I will try to see if I can do it one time without you guys. That way, there won't be a lot of debugging on my end. But yeah, my bad. My expectations were that we were. Let me see. I'm not muted, am I? My expectations were that we were going to be able to easily just call these commands out and not run into any issues, but we did. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to just end this a little bit short. Thank you guys for whoever stuck around even throughout the struggles. Um, but yeah, it's part of the journey. If anybody has any questions that I can quickly answer, I will. Next time, let's see. I might come back and do this a little bit to see if I can add any information about it. But uh, yeah, if that is all, then I will end this a little bit early. Well, thanks again for tuning in to the Black is Tech Live or the Black Tech Experience live stream. Um, I'm going to the Blackest Tech conference. If you want to see other Black software engineers and see my journey in networking with other engineers of Black skin complexion, please follow. Look forward to that. Subscribe, comment. Let me guys know what was your favorite part of the stream. And other than that, thanks again. Deuces.